People, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this live from By the Hood. This is myself, Jimmy. Got my partner in crime with me, Corey. We wanted to go live to address a couple topics. This is something that we want to do more of, which is to go live and share some of our thoughts and opinions, but also to answer some questions that we get on a weekend and week out basis. We try to respond to as many inboxes as possible, specifically on IG, because we get a lot of comments and a lot of opinions and things on IG. Um, and we try to respond to as many as we can, but this is a chance for us to kind of answer those questions and also give our thoughts and opinions and also try to help some of our students. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to all the By the Hood University students. We have a lot of people who are coming aboard. We have 3 courses: the intro course, the analysis course, and we partner with Discover Your Options to do an options course as well. So we also have a private group. So once you join the courses, there's a private group that you get enrolled in where we share information on a daily basis. We literally show some of our trades that we're personally making and go over those. And we also have a classroom that we share content with 24/7. So although, you only pay one time, you kind of get access to us, 24/7. So salute to those people. And I know everybody doesn't have Facebook. So there are a lot of our students who aren't in the private group, but they still stay in contact with us. So salute to y'all too, because you're probably watching this on one of our platforms. So we want to, first of all, send a shout out to our students. And if you have any questions about anything, you can ask it while we're on this live. Because while we're on this live, we're going to answer some questions, but also give our opinions on some things that are going on in the world of finance. So, Core, what's going on with you, brother?
Not much, man. I've been chilling, man. I'm in the process of doing a million different things, same way as everybody else, man. I'm just trying to make, two nickels rub together and become $10 million like everybody else.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, so first things first, I want to talk a little bit about our camp. So for the past several summers, we've had a camp in which we bring in students ages 5 and up, and we teach them the basics of finance, ownership, talk a little bit about real estate, but primarily about the markets. And we've had a lot of success with that. Some of our students as young as 5 have their own portfolios now, which is amazing, right? And we want to continue to do that. So with everything going on in the world, it's very difficult to kind of like set that up. So we're thinking about, taking it, digitally. So putting it online. That will probably give us the ability to get more students because you can go from anywhere in the world, but also it will give us the ability to kind of share more information because it's not just about the sessions that we have on a week in and week out basis. We want to make sure that we're helping the students, our younger students, get involved in the markets, start to build their portfolios, and also have an interaction with the parents to help them grow and learn all the information that we want to do. I know, Corey, that's like your passion. When we came aboard By the Hood, one of your things was like, yo, because I used to do. Listen, I've been speaking in communities at this point for 15 years or so, and you told me when you came aboard, like, yo, start working with the children. You know what I mean? I had no experience in that, and you said this is where we got to reach. So, why did you think
Yeah,
that was
man.
important? What's your opinion on that?
Because I mean, if we're going to build out of this, uh, children have to be the focus of what we're doing. So it has to be the focus has to be generation. So what we have to do is start to build the financial habits in our children that allow them to have the time to be free and do all of the things that the generations before them weren't able to do. Instead of having our children start at zero, our children will be starting at a place where they can do all of the things that we strive to do. We had civil rights movement and we've had all these other movements. We need to have a massive economic movement. And the way to
Hmm.
start a massive economic movement is to actually create a space where children learn how to do the things that build economic growth and development.
Yeah, man. So that's a good point, man. So we want to make sure that we still find a way, as crazy as things are, to share information with the children. So what we're thinking about doing is doing it online. We're working with a couple different platforms to see how that will work out. But if anybody out there is interested in having their kid in our summer camp, and generally what we do is have it 1 day a week for about 4 weeks. Start from the very scratch, and then by the end, we want to make sure that they have some sort of foundation to start investing. And when we have it in person, it's probably about 3 hours every day we have it. But
Yeah,
again, it's one of those things where you also have access to us because this is our mission. We're a community-based organization first. Like We talk a lot about investing in real estate, investing in the stock market, but our objective is really still community based. So with that being said, it's not like your student will just get the information that day and they won't have access to us. We'll have a classroom set up online where they can bring their questions. They can take, quizzes to make sure they're getting the information. They can ask whatever questions. We'll get on the phone with you because, again, this is our life's work and it's our mission. So it's not just about, and again, this is free. We don't charge anything for our camp. So if you guys, anybody's interested, just make sure you shoot us a message. You can, put it up there now. Shout out to everybody watching too. I see we got people watching on YouTube as well as Facebook. What's up, Jose? What's up, Nairobi? Also, Yancy, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and leaving us a comment. But yeah, if you have any interest in this camp for this summer, we're looking at August right now. Just please let us know because we want to see what the interest is for people outside of the Philadelphia area, so we can make the determination of how we're going to put this online and how we're going to get the information out there. So first and foremost, I wanted to bring that up on this live today. Now we're not going to be on here all day. This is not like our normal show. And thanks again to all the supporters of our regular podcast, which drops every Wednesday. The past episode was amazing. With the good Dr. John Carroll on there. But this is something different. We wanted to come address you guys about the camp for one, and also a specific topic we got to talk about. You've probably seen the name of this video, which is called "Buy the Bentley," right? So Corey, I'm gonna tell you where this thought came from, and I know you have opinions on this too. So we do have students, right? And our students come from By the Hood University. And the thing about By the Hood University is you get people from all walks of life. We have people from, who have experience investing, who kind of take the options course, people who are starting from scratch and know nothing at all. But we get a lot of questions, right? One of the things that keeps coming up, and it's not just from our students, but it's from people online as well. So I'm not going to, put anyone's name out there because this is literally, I'm not even exaggerating, probably about 50 people. And this is why this topic has to be addressed, is looking at the price. And by the way, before I even get into this is not investment advice, right? This is for entertainment purposes only. This is not investment advice. Please see your financial advisor. We are not financial advisors. We're just giving our perspective from things that we actually do. But here's the question, right? People come to me every day and they say, listen, I have X amount of dollars. I'm starting with a small account. And they look at these companies that are cheap companies, and they want to buy those companies because they could buy more of the shares. So I'll give you a quick example. I had a gentleman, right, who took our course. He did all of his analysis in terms of fundamental analysis, technical analysis. He says, I don't like Tesla's, balance sheet. I don't like the fact that they're not making any money. But based upon everything else I've read, I think Tesla is the future. I think it's a great company to invest in long term. Now, this is his analysis, right? I said, okay, so what are you going to do? He says, I'm going to buy 100 shares of Ford. I said, whoa, you just told me all the great stuff about Tesla. Well,
I'm sorry.
He said, but Ford is cheaper. I can afford to buy 100 shares of Ford, but I can only buy a partial share of Tesla. I said, but what about Ford? I don't even think they're that great, but I can buy more of them, right?
And just did the analysis.
He did the analysis, right? So this is the crazy part. And again, I'm not going to put your name on. He did the analysis, and he's not the only one. I've had multiple students come up to me and they're looking at the price of a company in order to make their investment, right? Thing about that is I told him, if your analysis says this other company is a way better company long-term, why not just buy a partial share of that? Well, because I can have more of these. So I told him, I said, well, if you could buy a Bentley, but you can buy, 5 Ford Escorts, you're going to buy the Bentley, you're going to buy the Escorts. He said, I'm going to buy the Bentley. I said, it's the same thing, right? This company is going to be here long term. This is your analysis. That it's a better company, but yet and still you're looking at price. You can't invest just based on price. That's not investing. Right? So my whole thing is buy the Bentley, right? I see the same thing with Amazon. Amazon is so expensive right now that people say, as opposed to buying a partial share of Amazon, they're going to buy another business, which they don't even believe is a great business. In 2020, you have the ability to literally buy fractional shares. I don't care whether you go to Stockpile, you go to Cash App, you go to wherever Robinhood at this point, you go to M1. We can name 5 or 10 brokerages where you could buy partial shares. I would rather have a partial share of a great company than 100 shares of a trash company. I'm not calling anything trash, but that's my perspective. Has anyone ever came to you with this, Core?
Yeah, man, I get I get the same thing, right? So you get people who do an analysis, and they come up with an analysis, and then what they do is they do the analysis, and then they come up with a similarly a company in the same field that is cheaper. I'm like, well, the reason they're cheaper is because they're not as good of a company as the other company. The other company has had growth, and that's why the other company costs more. So you want the company that's going to grow. So why in the hell are you talking to me? Why are you trying to buy this why are you trying to buy this Ford Pinto when you got a Bentley sitting right in front of you, especially with fractional if your brokerage does fractional shares, there's no reason in the world you should be buying trash companies. There's none.
Yeah,
Especially if you're
yeah,
doing long-term investing. Now you can look at those trash companies to try to make some money off of calls and puts on some swing trades or some of those other things, but you can't be looking at those companies for no long-term investing. Like, you got to stop with that. That's absolute madness.
yeah. But a
You
lot of
cannot.
people do that, right? So the whole wave right now, right? The whole wave right now is taking a flyer on airline companies. I even saw people in a group I was in yesterday talking about buying Hertz, right? They're talking about buying Hertz as the information about it going bankrupt comes out. And the only thing they're talking about is, well, look how many I can get. I mean, I see the same thing within the crypto space, right? So shout out to Bitcoin Zay, who's a specialist in that space, who was on our podcast. And then talking to him where he says that people look at these what they call shit coins, these altcoins, and because they can buy so many more of them, they rather buy that as opposed to buying what they know is the better coin, right? So you name it, they'll buy
Yeah.
like, whatever coin, and they'll do that as opposed, you know what I mean?
Listen, people will buy. They'd rather buy 7 pair XJ900s than 1 pair of good running shoes. They'd rather wear out some bobos than wear people cheap.
But you know what?
Like,
When it comes to sneaks, nobody's gonna do that, right?
no,
You're not
no,
gonna you're
dog.
not gonna buy you're not gonna buy 10 pair of Starberries if you can get a pair of Jordans, right? Although I think the Starberry move was amazing and I supported it just because I like what he did, but that's a
Listen,
whole other
man.
thing. But the average
I
person, the average cat in the street ain't gonna buy a pair of Starberries, right? They're gonna go buy the Jordans. And they can get probably 10 pair of Starberries, right?
If you got $250, you gonna buy the Jordans.
Yeah, real quick, we got a comment
He's,
and shout out to Court
I can't.
who's
I don't got my
listening.
glasses on.
I got you, man. It's Court. He said, I suggest that people ignore share price when evaluating companies for long-term investing. If that company has a history of paying dividends and stock splits, because eventually you'll break even. So shout out to Court for commenting and listening in. And he's right. Ignore share price. When you
Yeah.
evaluate a company and you think it's a good company, then you make your move from there. Like, don't even think about the share price at this point, because one of the things that's lost in investing a lot of times is they look at these things as just numbers, right? Just numbers. But this is equity ownership in a company. It's equity ownership in a company. So, our opinion is buy the Bentley, man. Like, that's just the analogy we want to use. Like, buy the Bentley, buy the pair of Jordans. Don't buy the 5 pair of Starberries, because that's not what you would do if you were buying sneaks. So don't do it when you're buying companies and you're investing your money, right? That's not what we want to do there. A couple other things I want to get back real quick. We got a couple more comments. I want to, like I said, we're not going to be here all night, but I want to highlight some people who are chiming in with us, right? So Demetrius, right? He says, "Peace, brothers. Teaching the youth is the way, and when other youth see other youth practicing it, they gravitate towards the knowledge, right?" And you're right, brother. You're right, and that's why we're going to continue, even in these trying times, to try to make sure we still get some sort of platform out there for the youth, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
we
very
going to do
important.
the summer camp. We just don't know in what form we going to do it, because
Yeah.
we want to gauge interest so we know what platform to put it on.
And shout out to our sister Nairobi. Nairobi, man, listen, I really appreciate you, man. She says been interested, but she's not local, so virtual will be perfect for her. So, like, we're gonna try to make that happen. And thank you for all your support as always, Nairobi, man. Much love. Love come from me. I appreciate you. Um,
All the love in
you
the
know,
world.
absolutely, man. Nairobi's a real one, man. You know what's real when people just like check on you to be checking on you, man. So, it's nothing but love for Nairobi. So,
Right.
also, Nadia chimed in to say, hey, so what's up, Nadia? We appreciate you chiming in, kicking it with us or whatever. Jose's in the building as too. Jose, what's good, King? You know what I'm saying? So just want to make sure we give people shout outs, because they're giving us shout outs. Yancey, you know what I'm saying? What's up? But no, so overall, I just want to say, in terms of from the investment standpoint, make sure you buy the Bentley. You know what I'm saying? Just buy the Bentley. Other than that, Core, another thing I want to address real quick. What kind of trades? What you got going on? What you working on now? In the investment space? What you got working?
I'm running cover calls on good companies. You know what I mean? So I got right now I'm running cover calls on AT&T, Coca-Cola, um, and a company called Energy Transfer.
Yeah, no
Uh,
doubt. Cover calls
so
is the wave, man. That's the way. That's what we on in our group now. We love cover calls.
yeah, so and then I'm running the wheel too. So I'm also running selling puts on them Jones too. So I can catch them Jones if they roll back. I can get them at the price I want. So I'm making money going and coming. So that's
Okay.
what I'm working on right now.
Okay. For me, today I just made 20% on a naked call on Nokia. So knocked out 20% on that. Over the last couple months though, I've been making a killing. So I got DraftKings. My average buy-in with DraftKings is about 20. So I bought a bunch when it was like 18. Bought some more when it was about 20. And anyone that's in our By the Hood University group, they know this because like I said, within the group we actually share the trades that we make.
Yeah,
So between DraftKings and the other one,
Penn National.
Penn National Gaming, between those two companies, man, I probably made more money between those two companies just since the beginning of May than I have on. So I have rental property too. I've made more money just in 2 months on those two companies than I have like some of my rental properties are going to pay me for the entire year. And the reason being is because we do our homework. So I actually sat and listened on the calls. And once I listened on the calls to the CEO and the game plan and all that, I actually take the time to do that. We do our reading, and it's amazing what's going on with DraftKings, considering sports is not even operational right now. So who knows what happens when sports is operational? But those are the two
Oh,
plays I've got in terms of just. And by the way, didn't bring this up. I've been running cover calls on DraftKings too. So real quick, let's talk about cover calls just real fast for the people that don't even know what that is. So when you own at least 100 shares of a company, you have to own at least 100 shares. You can sell what's known as a cover call, right? So you can give someone the right to buy your shares at a certain price, and they have to pay you a premium for that. Now, they're going to buy your shares at that price depending upon where it goes in the market during the course of that week or however long you stretch it out. If it doesn't get to where they think it is, you'll get to keep your shares. But either way, either they get to buy your shares at a price you agreed upon already, or they don't buy your shares and you get to keep the premium. So you're making money in multiple ways. So one of the things we try to talk to our students about is learning to pick good companies and then running cover calls on those. So right now, I'm personally running cover calls on Coca-Cola, Penn National Gaming, DraftKings, although I didn't do one this week. Disney, Johnson & Johnson, and there's one more I'm missing. But nonetheless, I'm running cover calls on all those. A naked call on Nokia, and I have a construction project going on in Brewery Town in Philadelphia. So that's what's kind of going on with my investment world right now. I got a couple other real estate projects. I'm going to start sharing that content with you guys as well on the Buy the Hood page, because I generally do it on my personal page. Because one of the things is we don't like to it's not about what we're doing. Like again, we're community based, but sometimes you have to show what you're doing just to let people know that you're actually out here taking the action. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So we'll make sure we do that as well. What's up, Deanne? How you doing? She said DraftKings all day, so she got that play too. So I'm pretty sure you did well with draft. Anybody got it on DraftKings at this point is probably like cooking. Like shout out to all my homies in the group chat.
I'm sad because I
Everybody,
had I had was crazy as I had DraftKings. I bought them Jones at $23, and I ran a cover call on them. I lost them Jones because I had a $25 cover call on them, and I still lost them Jones because them Jones went berserko. Them Jones went crazy. I made a couple
yeah,
dollars, but I'm hurt. I'm hurt to death that I
yeah. So
lost my DraftKings stock, man.
I ran cover calls on them for a couple weeks. So and for every 100 shares, like the first week, I think I got like $40. Second week, for every 100 shares, it was $30, and then $50 one of the other weeks. So I was like literally just printing money per 100 shares. This is the kind of money you could print. So if you own 1,000 shares, you do that times 10. You can make $500 in the course of a week by just owning the shares, running cover calls. So I was printing money with it. But this week, the numbers didn't look as great as they have in the past. Right. And we get into those kind of strategies in the DYO course. And again, this is not investment advice. I'm not telling anybody to go buy DraftKings. I'm just telling you what we got going on, because these are our personal trades. Any trades or anything you're looking at doing in the upcoming week or so?
I got some long calls on the casinos that I'm letting them Jones run. I'm letting them Jones just run. I don't, and I always keep a long call on Microsoft, and I keep my eye on Roku. But that John,
Mm-hmm.
that John been doing backflips the last couple weeks, so I just been letting it flip flop. I ain't really been trying to, because I've been putting more of my money into the cover calls and the wheel, because basically with the on the backside of the wheel I can't lose, because either I get the stock at the price I want it, or I just take the money and walk off.
Okay,
So
so just real quick, I just want to break this down real fast. And again, this is not a full course because when you talk about options trades, it could get very detailed. We believe anybody can do it, and one of our goals is to help people that look like us learn as much as possible about options trading. But he's talking about selling a put. So when you sell a put, basically what you're saying is you're putting your money up and saying, I'm willing to buy these shares. You're on the other side of that now. I'm willing to buy these shares at this price, but then you collect the premium there as well. So some of the strategies we're talking about, you collect money. So this is what's interesting about the stock market. People look at the market all day and say, oh, the market, the S&P did this or this did this. People are making money regardless. And that's one of the beautiful things about that. Brother Jay Johnson, said that on an interview we did with him on the Body Hood podcast. As a matter of fact, we have a clip of one of the things he said dropping tomorrow on our YouTube channel. But fact is, doesn't matter what the market's doing. If you know what you're doing, you're going to be able to print money on both sides. So that's what he's talking about when he's talking about the cover calls and running the wheel. So he's talking about the complete wheel, selling cover calls and buying, selling puts and buying cover calls. But here's the thing, though. We don't want to get too much into that. I was just asking what trades you kind of had going on. So, people can know like some of the things that you have personally going
like
on.
My money got, I'm not really running a whole, but like this week, I'm kind of like getting ready to go on vacation and stuff. So I ain't really want to look at the market hard. So I just,
Got you.
when I'm not looking at the market hard and I'm not, sitting in front of a screen and doing all that kind of stuff, I need to still make money and put my money to work. And so that's what I did this week, to put my money to work.
Yeah, so outside of the little trades I got going on, because I'm just running those cover calls. My long-term buys right now, I'm buying a lot of the ETF, MGK, which is a Vanguard Growth Fund. For those who don't know what MGK is, go look up MGK and look up the holdings in MGK, and you'll see why I'm buying it. So MGK has a combination of FANG, but it also has some dividend pairs in there as well. And shout out to everybody from other dividend group, each one M1. I know some of them are watching as well. But MGK is a ETF that I fell in love with because it's been doing me well for the last several years, and I'm just buying more of that. So in terms of the long-term buy and hold, is MGK. Short-term, I'm watching Nokia next week. I think that's an interesting company just because of what's going on with 5G. And no, I'm not talking about 5G as it relates to coronavirus. I'm talking about 5G as it relates to business. I think that's an interesting place. So I'm watching that. I just made money off of a naked call with Nokia, but I'm just watching it as it goes up and down and try to study that a little bit more to see, because what I recognize with that, just watching it, people are printing money off that every day, like literally every day. When you look at the volume, you can see how it fluctuates. People are making money off that every day. So I'm kind of watching that myself to try to, figure out my entry points and exit points. But that's kind of what I got going on right now. And still working on that rehab project down here in Brewerytown in Philadelphia, try to get that on the market. Not sure whether that's going to be a rental or not a rental or a sale. It all depends upon what the market's telling me. But that's what I got on real estate wise. Again, we're going to share more real estate content as well, because that's also something that we do. But that's it. That's pretty much it, man. And for everybody watching, remember, leave us, hit us up. You can know how to get in touch with us personally or on By the Hood on every platform, and let us know about this summer camp, because we're still trying to figure out how we're going to set it up. It's looking like it's going to be online. We want to see what the interest is around the country, not just here in Philadelphia. We want to see if we can get a number of students that want to, and the shot to Nairobi, he already said that, she's going to have her kids tuned in. So if we can get a little bit more interest, we will make sure that we'll have it, All right, hold up. We got another comment here, which is coming from our YouTube channel. It says, how do you know when to get in and out of a stock like DraftKings and when there's conflicting news like Boeing? That's a great question, right? So, Corey, what's your perspective on getting out of a stock?
Getting out of a stock, like me, for my long-term holds, like if they cut my dividend or suspend my dividend, I suspend them. So that's my, that's my move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't. If you suspending the dividends, that means you wasn't able to, function the way I thought you was going to be able to function in my long term investment portfolio. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to replace you. Um, as far as with getting in and out of stocks with you know um during the regular week or on options trades, um, I mean I use a combination of a couple of things, news and other things, how close they are to their earnings.
Earnings. Yeah, I need to go for that.
Uh, I'll look at some news stories. I'll do a little deep dive into their 10K. Uh, you know, so just to see when I
All
want
right.
to get in and out of that kind of stuff. But like for me, most of the time I trade 3 or 4 companies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I don't get into a lot. Like I don't know a lot about a lot of companies as far as
Got
trading
you. Well,
because I
let
don't
me give
trade.
you my
I don't trade
perspective
a
real
lot of
quick.
companies.
Let me give you my perspective real quick here. That's another great point, right? Just because you're in the market doesn't mean you have to follow every single company. You focus on the companies you want to. But Kia, for me, a lot of times I know what my exit point is when I make my entry point, right? So it depends upon my analysis then. Taking the courses with DYO has taught me a lot because there's like when we make 20% on an options trade, we take the money and run, right? Sometimes, and then every trade won't work out in your benefits, but also on the flip side of that, if it goes down 15, 20, you want to exit and then come back in. So a lot of times, when you buy on a short-term trade for me, once I get to 20%, I try to get out. Now, to be completely transparent, it doesn't always happen because the hardest part to me about investing is nothing to do with reading. It's the emotional part. It's the emotional part. I had a trade this past week. What was it? It was a company you told me about, Corey. The
FCX,
FCX,
Freeport,
right?
yeah,
All right. So
Freeport McMahon.
I was up 19.75%. Now remember I said once it gets to 20, I'm out. Within 2 minutes, I was down like 2%, right? So that happens at times. And I know Corey had this happen to him recently too on a trade.
Yeah,
But I've also had like when I ran a Bank of America call option at one time, I was up over 30% and I got greedy. I said, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait till I get to 50. Never made it to 50, shot all the way back down. So greed isn't always good. So the hardest part to me about trading, not investing, now investing and trading are two different things. Hardest part about trading is the emotional part. Because if you stick to the fundamentals, so today with Nokia, I stuck to the fundamentals. Once it hit 20%, I was gone, right? So that worked out for me. Now, in terms of long term, when I know when to get in and get out, companies that I buy on the long term, I do a lot of analysis of those companies. And some of those I don't plan on ever selling unless I see a major shift in their business. For instance, the first ever company I bought was Coca-Cola. So I have shares from Coca-Cola that I bought in 1996, 97 that I still have to this day and have been doing me well. And I probably never will sell those. So there's really not going to be an exit point, right? As a couple companies I have like that, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, and Disney are companies that I've been holding forever. So I'll probably never have that. But in terms of a trade or something that I'm going to get into the short term, I kind of know my exit point. I know my exit point when I get in. So I hope I answered your question, Kia. And if not, you can always reach out to us one-on-one. We'll try to help you as much as we can. You can inbox us and, we talk to people who aren't even our students, right? Our students actually, they get all of our attention because they actually see our trades. But if you're not a student, we still try to help you as much as we can. So I hope that helped. But another comment real quick from YouTube. What up, Byron? We appreciate you for chiming in, good brother. We got to get you on the podcast too, man. So I'm gonna inbox you once this is over with because Byron is a tech genius. We want to get him to talk about what he's got going on. Also, another question we got real quick from YouTube. This question is, how can people support the summer camp? All right. So in terms of supporting the summer camp, for one, if you have kids that age, just help them. And if you're an adult that wants to help us in terms of planning and all that, shoot us an inbox or whatever, and we'll show you what we need. Because what we need is just to try to bring people into whatever platform we're going to use. Like I said, we're still trying to figure this out. But if you want to volunteer, which we do appreciate, and we have had volunteers and parents in the past, and salute to all of y'all who helped us because we couldn't do it without you. Again, it's about community. So if you're interested in helping out with the summer camp, just leave us a message, shoot us an inbox, and we'll we'll figure it out together. You'll become part of the team as we get this. Let's see. Another one, Jalil is part of Buy the Hood University. You got out of Nokia at the right time. Trump in his tweets gave it all back. I definitely did. And if you were in the group, you saw me. When I got rid of it, I posted the screenshot as soon as I made that 20. And that was before, the president got to letting his hands go. So I definitely got out at the right time. But here's the thing, though. So now it rolled back. So what I'm thinking is, again, that's why I said I want to do some further analysis. Is it time to get back in? Because a lot of times the market reacts emotionally just like we do. So you're right about that, Jalil, because he opened his mouth about social media, and it kind of like made a lot of stuff drop. But again, when stuff drops, that's opportunity. That's opportunity. So again, man, those are the trades and everything that we got going on. We appreciate all the comments on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. Make sure if you're on Facebook to like the page, share this video as well as our page with everybody else, because again, we're trying to get this camp to be as big as possible and to be as impactful as possible. Because our objective, again, is community-based, to try to reach the children and help them get a little bit of knowledge about what's going on in the market. Because believe you me, they get this exposure right now. By the time they get our age or their parents' age, they'll be a lot better off for it. So, Corey, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here, good brother?
I'm appreciative of the support that we've had so far. You know what I mean? Ask us some questions. Like we get a lot of questions, and a lot of people, be shy about asking the question that they want to ask, and ask us whatever. Like, we really out here in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, the thing is, the only thing that stopped this was the COVID, right? Because we was out here doing everything.
No, I mean, before COVID, we were actually pulling up in people's houses. Like, that's literally what we're doing. You can go and check our feed to see the evidence of that. But again, main topic I want to point out is buy the Bentley, right? If you don't know what I mean by that, rewatch this video. Make sure you buy the Bentley. Stop buying trash companies because of the price. Because if they're a trash company, they probably will have a low price. If you do your analysis, right, and the company is cheap, but you think it's going to pop, that's a different thing. But if you're only buying it because of the price, that is problematic. Don't buy just because of the price. That is not investment.
Don't be that person.
Shout out to our brother Kamari, right? So we do another live show every Sunday, the Black Wealth Project, and I'm giving him a shout out because I heard him say something. He said people be out here looking for lottery tickets in the stock market. Like, no, stop looking for lottery tickets, man. So but check out the Black Wealth Project as well. Every Sunday we go live with that, which is a roundtable discussion with us too, our brother Malik Carter, Kamari Ellis, and also Courtney, the Ivy investor. So we'll be back on there Sunday. Other than that, we're going to do probably another live next week, sometime Thursday or Friday. We're going to try to answer some more questions. So if you don't have your question ready now, make sure that you pay attention to what's going on in the market and bring your questions to us, by that time. For everybody watching in Buy the Hood University, we appreciate all of you for all your support, and let's continue to build that community as well.
Everybody in the DYO University, everybody that supported us by buying a book or coming out to a seminar, we love y'all.
Absolutely. Own Your Time and Space is the book that Corey and I wrote together. Go to ownyourtimeandspace.com to get that. But anyway, we're about to get out of here, good people. But again, if you have any questions and we didn't answer them, just make sure you hit us up in the inbox, hit me or Corey up directly, or go right to Buy the Hood, and make sure you share this content. But we appreciate you guys. Love you. Peace.
If you got school-age children, send them to the camp.
Yep. All right. Peace.